Moving on to NC State and Clemson. They're meeting up as top 10 opponents for the first time. The Wolfpack got them last year in Raleigh, but the Tigers have won 36 in a row in Death Valley. 8 in a row at home against NC State. Clemson given 4.5. The total's 45. Barrett, what's your play?
So this is a tough one. Honestly, looking at this game, it would be really hard for me to actually bet some of my own money on it. But I'm going to take NC State. Look, DJ Uiagalelei finally had that great performance, the one that people have been waiting for since he filled in for Trevor Lawrence in 2020. We saw it against Wake, but that was Wake. And on top of that, some of those throws were just not smart. They were not well timed. They were in the wrong coverage, all that other stuff. So I don't necessarily know who the real DJ Uiagalelei is, and he's going to have to show it against an NC State defense that is pretty much top third of the ACC in every meaningful category. So I'm going to take NC State. I'm going to grab those points. I think it's come down for a reason. I think it started at 7 on Sunday, and it shrunk all the way down to wherever it is, and then it popped back up. But I think, look, Devin Leary needs to be better. Devin Leary needs to stay clean. If he can be clean and not turn the ball over, I think that then NC State could win this game outright. DJ is not trustworthy. Until we see it for more than one game against Wake Forest defense, I'm not buying in yet.
You know, there has been a lot of talk about Devin Leary struggling and not really living up to the hype this year, and it's true. If you look at his numbers, they're not nearly as good. But I don't think the problem is Devin Leary as much as I think the problem is he no longer has Ikem Ekwonu at left tackle blocking for him, and he finds himself under a lot more pressure in the pocket than we have seen in recent seasons. And that is not a great place to be going up against Clemson, which has been one of the most disruptive defensive fronts in the ACC for years. And I think that they are going to put pressure on Leary here at home this weekend. And that's going to lead to more poor play from Devin. It's probably going to lead to a couple turnovers. And that is going to make it very difficult for NC State to stay within this number. As long as it's under a touchdown, I would be taking Clemson before I take anything else, because in the back of my mind, well, I think that this NC State team is good. I go back to their first game of the season against East Carolina, in which they really struggled. And when things got tough and they just needed a few yards against East Carolina, a team that lost to Navy last week, they couldn't get them. So if they couldn't get those yards against East Carolina, how are they going to get them against Clemson?
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.